So, I need to thank Lowell. I think that's how you say your name. I'm not entirely sure, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. These things happen to me. Anyway, a tube driver. Legendary pedal. He sent this one over to me from America, but I actually already had done this comparison where I wanted to see, like, am I just imagining some things, or if we play into a loop pedal and then put these things back out through a couple of pedals and through Helix Native, can I distinguish whether the tube driver is doing something somewhat unique? This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. So, you heard in that introduction there, kind of flipping between the tube driver, the PastFX TDY, which I think is their take, from what I'm told by Tony from up the road, on the tube driver tone, but trying to get it in a, you know, more usable, compact kind of pedal with a 9-volt, whatchamacallit, and then Helix Native. A caveat to this, with Helix Native, I had to set the settings very different to on the actual tube driver and on the PastFX itself, to get it sounding within the ballpark. But I think it does sound within the ballpark. So the thing with the tube driver is it's a little bit of a unit to carry around, right? And I would instead really of thinking of this as a pedal as much. Maybe think about it as a drive channel to add to your amp. Do you know what I mean? Like the Van Wilden Royal Overdrive, that sort of thing, where it's actually not the most pedal-like pedal out there. You know, I think, to be fair, this having a tube in it, it does do some things, I think, a little bit more amp-like than either this or the Helix Native. I did kind of do a little bit of like side-by-side comparison with this, but my feeling is that this is responding to picking a little bit different. It's not like the tone is not there, but there are these elements of sag to it and stuff like that. The Helix Native point, there's a caveat to make, that the tube driver, you can change in and out the tube, so I don't know if they modelled a tube driver with a different tube in it, which has maybe less bass, that sort of thing. But what I found was the Helix Native stuff was wanting to be quite a lot brighter than this. yeah, this one here actually has a bias pot. This is not what I used in the video. I used my buddy Jake Loosemore's tube driver. But I think if you're into Eric Johnson, maybe you owe it to yourself to try a tube driver and see if it works for you, because for me it was a little bit eye-opening in terms of, you know, how he's using this sort of pedal and what it can do, and actually how much of it it's not doing and how much of it seems to be coming from Eric's fingers, which when you say it out loud it's actually not that surprising, is it? But I was maybe expecting some things that didn't quite happen. However, I do think it's a fantastic sounding pedal, and I think, yeah, definitely worth trying. The PastFX, I think, to me, is in the ballpark, but sounds a bit more like a pedal and feels a bit more like a pedal, whatever that means. But let me know what you think in the comments. Have you got a tube driver? Is this, you know, an important pedal to you? I think I had some of you guys saying that it was kind of your favourite tones that you'd heard on the channel, which is really nice to hear. This is the tube driver, and it was into the head first, was where I initially did that video about kind of searching for the Eric Johnson tone. That, yeah, apparently a lot of you guys really like that. So it was the tube driver into the head first, which is a Friedman Dirty Shirley clone, out of a load box and into Helix Native, which was running the cab, a delay and a reverb. Relatively simple stuff, but yeah, hopefully this can help you to decide whether the tube driver is an essential part of the mix. Thanks to Lowell for letting me, well, sending this over all the way from Texas, you know, the place where these things happen. And thanks so much. I'm super grateful. You'll see this on the channel a lot more. I just need to find an adapter for it. And yeah, I'll do a demo of this one with the bias, which I think is actually probably more useful, because that means that you can sort of, without taking the tube in and out, just kind of bias it hotter or colder and get some different tones that way. I definitely want to try gigging this as well. So I've got a blues gig on Friday with Jake that I might even consider taking this out for. Try and get some footage of that. Thanks for stopping by, and here's a comparison of the PastFX and the tube driver on the floor. Let me know which you think does the better job for this tone. Let's start off like this. Quite a lot more gain, I think, here.